20 tips to help create a new habit. Tip number 1. Start small. Begin with a small, feasible goal to make it easier to get started and build momentum. Tip number 2. Be specific. Explain your habit with clarity and specificity. Clearly detail what you want to accomplish and when you plan to do it. Tip number 3. Set clear goals. Create measurable and realistic goals for your habit. Determine your meaning of success and track your progress regularly. Tip number 4. Create a routine. Integrate your new habit into your daily or weekly routine to make it easier to remember and maintain. Tip number 5. Link your habit to an existing cue. Link your new habit to an existing cue or trigger in your environment so that it will be a reminder for you to perform it. Tip number 6. Commit to a schedule. Set a particular time and place to perform your habit regularly. Consistency is key to creating a new habit. Tip number 7. Track your progress. Monitor your habit by using a habit tracker or journal to observe your daily or weekly performance. Tip number 8. Stay accountable. Share your goals and progression with a friend, family member, or accountability partner who can support and encourage you. Tip number 9. Stay positive. Try to keep a positive attitude and focus on your progression rather than any setbacks or challenges you may face. Tip number 10. Reward yourself. Celebrate your successes and milestones along the way with small rewards that inspire you to continue. Tip number 11. Visualize success. Imagine yourself successfully working out your new habit and accomplishing your goals. Visualizing success can assist with positive behavior. Tip number 12. Stay flexible. Be receptive to adjusting your method if necessary and adapting to changes in your routine or circumstances. Tip number 13. Practice self-compassion. Be gracious to yourself and practice self-compassion, especially if you experience setbacks or struggle to maintain your habit. Tip number 14. Stay patient. Creating a new habit takes time and effort. Be patient with yourself and believe in the process. Tip number 15. Use habit stacking. Combine your new habit with an existing habit to create a habit stack. This can help you include your new behavior more seamlessly into your routine. Tip number 16. Focus on one habit at a time. Refrain from trying to create too many new habits at once. Instead, concentrate on one habit until it becomes automatic before adding another. Tip number 17. Visual reminders. Put visual reminders of your habit in important locations to help strengthen your commitment and keep it top priority. Tip number 18. Practice consistently. Make a promise to practice your habit regularly, even on days when you don't feel motivated. Tip number 19. Reflect and adjust. Take time to reflect on your progression and identify any obstacles or barriers that may be hindering your success. Adjust your method as needed to overcome challenges. Tip number 20. Celebrate milestones. Celebrate your progression and achievements along the way. Recognize and reward yourself for achieving important milestones in your habit journey. "20 tips to help you successfully establish and maintain a new habit." Recap. Tip number 1. Start small. Tip number 2. Be specific. Tip number 3. Set clear goals. Tip number 4. Create a routine. Tip number 5. Link your habit to an existing cue. Tip number 6. Commit to a schedule. Tip number 7. Track your progress. Tip number 8. Stay accountable. Tip number 9. Stay positive. Tip number 10. Reward yourself. Tip number 11. Visualize success. Tip number 12. Stay flexible. Tip number 13. Practice self-compassion. Tip number 14. Stay patient. Tip number 15. Use habit stacking. Tip number 16. Focus on one habit at a time. Tip number 17. Visual reminders. Tip number 18. Practice consistently. Tip number 19. Reflect and adjust. Tip number 20. Celebrate milestones.